Oh, thank goodness we saw that.
Okay, let's start over. We were muted, so you were reading our lips. That was
Mhm.
probably really exciting. Let's just start over. Why don't you go ahead and say who you are?
I am Tiff.
And I am Jack. Welcome to the Energized Empath live show and the Tiff and Jack Show podcast, done video style. We're so glad that you're here. We are the founders and creators of Empath Rise and Thrive, the #1 energy management system, group coaching and spiritual healing program for empaths, helping all of the empaths all around the world live a bigger, happier life.
Thank God for that.
Okay, we would love to know. We
Hi,
always
Belinda.
ask for you to
Hi,
give us a
Leona.
shout out. Where are you joining us from? Because we definitely have folks from all around the world, which
Hi,
is
Mandy.
very exciting. Very, very exciting. If you give StreamYard permission to see and use your name, then we get to also know who you are as we watch you come through on the feed. We
Hi,
would love to
Luann.
know.
I don't mean to overtalk.
That's okay.
you.
I'm really used to it. It's just
What does that
I
mean?
just
Whatever.
Totally joking. Hi from Essex, England. Chipman,
Canada, lots
New
of
Brunswick,
Canada.
Canada.
Nice. Nova
My
Scotia.
house. Luann. And we have Luann calling in from her house.
That's
awesome. That's awesome. Alberta, Canada. I've definitely driven all through Alberta. Lovely place. Lovely place. It's a gorgeous day. Yesterday it was in the upper 80s Fahrenheit, and today it's maybe 50s.
It's very cool. So we have our door open and the breeze is coming in. So if my hair starts blowing this way, this way, you'll know.
Yes, and then I'll jump up and shut the door because we have to keep Tiff's hair looking primo for the entire span of this amazing class.
Oh, I think
today.
everyone's hair is a work in progress.
It is, isn't it?
Yes,
isn't
absolutely.
it? Belinda said, where are others watching this? We are live streaming all around the world. So if you don't, like, we're on YouTube, we're on every single one of our profiles on Facebook, personal page, her personal page, our Tiff and Jack business page. We're in the Connected Empath. We're in our Empath Rise and Thrive group. We are, like I said, YouTube. So yeah, we're everywhere you can be.
Mm-hmm.
So we're happy that you're all joining us here doing that. So happy you're here. Today's topic is all about the gift of the empath.
Yeah, because most of what we hear is, oh, being an empath is such a curse. So we are going to talk about the positives. And there's some really awesome things to talk about because empaths are amazing. They're gifted people. And I actually would consider an empath a superhero, if we're being honest.
And it sounds so cliche, but she means that in the deepest sense of the word, that you're a superhero.
I'm a cliche type of person.
It's kind of like, no, you aren't actually. I wouldn't say that you're cliche, but the saying superpowers or your sensitivity as your superpower, we're serious about all that stuff. Okay. That is not a joke. We're being serious when we say that. So
what does a cliche mean?
Cliche is like, it's just the thing everyone says and it means nothing anymore because it's been used. Yes. It's like, it just has been used in a way that it no longer has any meaning.
Well, in the coaching world, there's lots of cliche phrases.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Yeah, there are.
So we probably say some cliche things, but whatever.
Who the F cares? It's all about ourselves.
It's all about ourselves.
It's all about being ourselves.
Oh, being
authentic, authentic self.
That's one of the cliche things is let's be our authentic selves.
Yeah, that
selves,
could be
right?
cliche unless you're really living in your authenticity.
But we're really all about that. And it's important for empaths to be able to be their authentic selves and feel good about it. Thanks, Beverly. I'm definitely not a cliche. She would know. She knows all kinds of things about me.
It really is so funny when we start and we're getting ready to turn on the video. We turn on the nice little water with the timer on it, right? So you can all have a little meditative moment. And we have our mic muted. And my God, if it ever was unmuted and you hear it's like, oh no, I have food in my teeth. And I know I talked about this last time, but it's a real deal. Like,
well, especially today when you said this very most inappropriate thing and you said, oh my God, can anyone hear us?
It would be the end of us.
No, it wouldn't. People would love it.
I know. Our gnarly, very TMI selves. Mm-hmm.
Jack is a very inappropriate man.
Speak for yourself. It takes one to know one. That's what I
is
say.
that what you're trying to say? I'm like, well, I did speak for myself.
Okay. It's like we're the comedy hour.
Yeah. Well, if you're not laughing, then what are you doing?
Crying.
I am a person that must laugh at least 100 times a day. If not, I'm just not happy.
Oh,
And
man.
you know it's true.
It is so true. Are you stepping on my nice shoes?
Yeah, I was touching them because they're velvety feeling.
Suede. Mandy has been binge watching our videos all day.
You have?
Mandy, we love
wow,
you.
you are a brave woman.
I just want to say thank you for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Mandy.
You're so welcome. And we really, really appreciate you binge watching our videos.
Sometimes when I'm editing or doing something with a video and I see my face yapping at myself again, I'm like, good God, Jack, zip it already. Just zip it. Enough already. But it really is a relief to know that you are enjoying and there are things that are helping. And what I love the most about your message, Mandy, is that you said a lot has been needed lately as reminders. So that would tell us that you're struggling and that you could be going through some pretty big heavy. And we are very grateful to be a voice of reason and hope and clarity and sanity when things get a little sketchy.
Yeah, especially right now because we're in the middle of Mercury Retrograde. It ends, the last day is on the 21st, and it cannot get here fast enough. I appreciate clearing processes and times that the cosmos gives us to clear our crap. But I have to say, this has been a wild, gnarly retrograde for most people.
It's been a really, really big one for a good many of ourselves and our clients and our students. It's been a rough patch.
And I think it may be the last one of this year.
No, it isn't.
Really?
It's only
There's
June.
another one?
We have 6 more months, so we'll have at least one.
What was I thinking?
Are you hopeful thinking? That's a
wow,
clear intention.
that was a ridiculous thought. This is so weird, but I literally thought we were in September. I must have been going through a vortex because of the cool breeze coming in.
Oh, true.
That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you want to share just about?
Oh, let's see.
Anything else other than the Mercury retrograde?
No, just that, you just do the best you can. You get up and you go through the choices and the emotions of life and be as intentional as possible. Lean on your angels for help, knowing that sometimes they're a little bit rougher than others. If you're in a rough patch, it will get better. No question about it. If you're in a good patch, celebrate like crazy and enjoy it while you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Pauline, it is snowing.
Wow.
In northeastern Canada.
And Newfoundland
and Labrador.
And
remember,
Labrador.
We had that conversation on our last live call.
Okay. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
So one thing that we used to do for our podcast all the time, and this is
our podcast too.
It's just like our faces are on too. That means we have to get ready for the day. We always get ready for the day, but we used to ask questions, and the reason we did that is so that it could give you opportunities to write down the questions and talk to the people you love. And why do we do that? Because it helps you get to know the people that you love so much better. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Ooh, that's exciting.
What is the number one positive thing you've learned about being married to an empath?
The positive number one thing I've learned about being married to an empath.
Let's see what he has to say. He had no idea I was going to ask this.
The feelings matter.
Right.
That's the number one thing I've learned. Right. Because let me tell you, I have tried to skirt around them. I've tried to stuff them down. I've tried to run away from them.
Your feelings or mine?
Mine and yours. Both of ours. And it's been quite a road getting to the point where I recognize the power of our emotional guidance system and that our feelings are a very good indicator that something's right or something's not quite right in the system. Something may need to be looked at, and let's figure out what we're believing about ourselves and others that may not be true or might be, and walk forward from there. And going without feeling your feelings, it is a very fast path to living like a robot. Honestly, mediocrity. And when you start feeling your feelings and being aware of your experience on this planet and your existence here in this plane, this dimension, the feelings part of it is what it's all about. And so being married to a very deep feeler, it is a very deep process. Being married to a massive empath is a very deep life experience. It's kind of like how a dog smells. When a dog smells, when I learned this, it was amazing. They don't just smell the cake baking, they smell every ingredient separately. When I'm with Tiff in our relationship, any experience we share, I kind of smell it like a cake. And she smells the flour, the oil, the eggs, the sugar. And so where I would kind of get triggered by that, let's be honest, if we're just going to lay it out there, is that it would just feel like I was I'll not say always, that I would stay blindsided it would be often
That's
like,
a very good
I feel
word.
like I'm being blindsided. Like I just had a really great time and you had this, and this within that experience. And then I would get triggered and get a little resistive and maybe be a dick for a little while and march around feeling like a victim of life. A victim of life. And then come back in to the truth and really identify my own feelings and understand what I'm feeling. So I feel like my feelings, I'm getting better and stronger and more adept at recognizing them, being with them, understanding them, learning from them, making new choices from them. Yeah.
That was a really good answer.
Yeah,
I
it was
learned some
long.
things about you today. I have one more question for you.
Well, I'd like to know what you learned first, because that would be interesting.
Well, I just learned how authentic you are and how real you get with how you process information. So you just kind of laid out the whole picture for everyone. And I thought that was pretty amazing that you can like see that when I share my feelings, you get triggered, then you act a certain way, and then you work through it, and it teaches you how to feel your own feelings.
That's interesting. Thank you.
So that was awesome. The next question for you is, we have 6 children and all of them are empaths except for one, which is an HSP, but might as well be an empath. It's all very, very similar. What is the number one thing you have learned as a dad with an entire all your children being highly sensitive people?
That we have the best life ever because it's a whole bunch of deep feelers. Like every experience we ever have is deeper than it would be otherwise, because we're all a bunch of feelers. And it's so funny. And now I'm going to do the same thing you just talked about. But when we get together as a family, there's just a lot of energy that's going on. And, one or two of the kids are like, I got to go. And, they're just totally overloaded. They're like, I got to get out of here. I've got to go get restored back into my happy introvert land. Uh-huh. And then others are like, can we turn off the overhead lights because they're a little bright? And then others are having to move away from the conversation because it's too loud. Or maybe it's a little, it's really interesting. I love deep, highly sensitive people, empathic people for their depth. It is a really beautiful place to live.
And something that Jack does every time that we start talking, because at the dinner table, when we have our family together, we
talked about this.
When?
Last time.
About us talking about
we go deep and ask
something that they either want to share or something that we love about the person. If it's a birthday dinner, we're like, let's go around the table and share one thing about
sometimes we'll say share the animal that would be the spirit animal of the person.
Totally.
Like
and
to
why?
Describe the person or a color or a plant. So that's kind of a deep way to approach it, isn't it?
Yeah. And so typically Jack will cry because he's talking about love every time, and then it makes me cry, and then the rest of us start crying.
I always cry over love. Love is a really potent feeling. That's one of the feelings I've always felt.
Yeah,
no question.
Yeah, Victoria said that's so true. When we get together, the energy is phenomenal, and we haven't been able to do that. But for Father's Day, we're going to be celebrating Father's Day and our granddaughter's birthday on the same day, and it's going to be a huge party. So it's going to be our biggest party since the pandemic began, and everyone's vaccinated, and it's just going to be an exciting time. So we're happy about that.
Yes, it is.
So thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Now,
I'm glad you asked.
We're going to get into the topic today,
Before we jump in, can I just say one thing? Have you noticed the new banner?
I love it.
Thank you. What do you guys think? You're watching us. If you're on the podcast listening, you can't see it. I could give you a verbal description, but you can just watch the video.
Yeah. I like it.
Let us know if you like it.
Okay,
let's go.
Let's do it. I'm going to go through some really awesome things that empaths typically are. Not 100% of the time, but like these are pretty typical. Okay, number one, empaths around the world. They surround themselves with beautiful things. How many of you are really attracted to looking at beautiful things? Not a specific thing, but something that's beautiful to you and it means a lot to you and you want it in your space. How many of you have that experience? What do you like? What is it that you like?
I love beautiful things. I love beautiful art. I love beautiful textures. I love gorgeous tablecloths. I love plants. I love outdoor nature. I love flowers. I love color on the walls. I love photographs of people that you love. I love all of our crystal because you love to drink out of crystal rather than glass.
Totally.
And I love all sorts of things. I love the flavor of food and the gorgeous presentation.
Right.
When I get home from my work day and Tiff has had her work day and she has this gorgeous presentation of food on a beautiful plate that is a joy to eat off of. And that's part of, I would say, why when we say a vacation lifestyle, that we create and consciously and purposefully create a vacation lifestyle for ourselves. And the only negative side effect of creating a vacation lifestyle is when you think about going away on a vacation, it's kind of hard because you love where you are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you just know that, I don't know if there's a bed as comfortable as ours, to be quite honest.
I don't think so.
We'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, we just really love beautiful things. And I'm glad that we both share that it's not something you're like, I don't really care about that. Because I spend my part of my life beautifying our home because I love it and because I like to give you that as well.
We have Lulu in the house probably from
3 a.m.
I know.
I bet you're in Australia.
Lulu.
Oh, welcome.
God bless you. God bless you.
And I hope after this you have a really good sleep.
Second sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, my friends, did you see how many people said me?
I know.
love beautiful things. Yes,
I think
yes,
just really, and I want to be very serious. I mean, we're talking about all these amazing things about you, the empath, what makes you a gift on this planet by the way that you are. And so many of empaths and deeply sensitive people are the artists and the creators and the musicians and the decorators,
the actors and actresses,
the people that love to create experiences and the deep feelers and love deep conversation is beautiful.
Yes. Okay, number 2, empaths typically have meaningful careers. And if they don't, they have a desire to have a more meaningful career.
And I would add a little add-on to that. And if they're in a career that doesn't feel so meaningful, let me tell you something. Your presence there is making it meaningful for the people around you. Now, that's not a reason to stay, just to make everyone else happy and comfortable. But everywhere you go, there you are as a healing force
energy
on this planet.
Totally true. That's a really great point. Okay. Empaths bring other people together. So we're gatherers. We gather people together and make people feel comfortable and delicious together. How many of you have noticed that about yourself? I would love to know. I am always gathering. I mean, this show is a gathering thing. We have our Connected Empath page where we gather empaths together to have a really good experience. My whole purpose in life, and I kid you not, is to gather people together in our space and share the joy. That's my whole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing.
I know, Belinda, I know you feel the same way about that. Right? That is your favorite thing. You are a gatherer. You make every experience rich.
I love to provide amazing food, amazing drinks or cocktails or delicious things, beautiful things to look at, deep conversations, hugs, kisses. It's all, I did my DNA test and I'm Welsh. So I'm 69% Welsh. And I am such a huge hugger. And there's something called a cwtch. And the cwtch is a Welsh hug. And it's where you hug people with this intimate embrace and it makes them feel like they're home. And I've always done that my entire life. A little did I know that it's just in my genetics, but that is what I like to create for the people that we bring into our space. Hey, Jean. It's so good to
I
see
know.
you.
And we also, let me just look, Deborah, I'm so glad that you're here and that you made it. And Sarah, you just said, I definitely love gathering and hosting, but there's a side of me that holds me back from that because I'm so afraid every detail won't be perfect for everyone involved. And that's where we can do the work around our limiting beliefs, because what would it mean about me if I have people over and it's not put together just right? Or and that's the other part of what we do 24/7 is helping us and our clients clear their limiting beliefs about why they can't have the gathering, which is a very big part of, empaths and all of their own insecurities based on your life experiences up to this point.
Totally.
Yeah.
I just loved talking about the cooch.
I know. Look, Luann, that's me, a hugger.
Yes. So if you've ever met me before the pandemic, and now now that we're kind of moving out of it, you will experience a cooch experience where I just wrap you up.
And yeah, Sarah, you and me next session. We got this.
Yes. Okay. Empaths experience others' emotions so they know how to help them or to help heal them. So how many of you have had that experience, which is probably going to be almost everyone on this call today, have had the experience where you can feel someone's emotions so you know what to say or you know what to do?
I need to see. What did you just say?
Empaths experience others' emotions so they know how to help them.
Amen. 24/7. 365.
Right.
That is such an empath thing.
Yes.
And I mean, really stop and think about it for a second. If there weren't empaths on this planet, how would any of us connect deeply? How would we? It would just be everyone's pretty much going through the motions and nothing would really mean that much. But the fact that you can sense and feel the depth of another person and you get that read off of their energy and how you can show up in a way that will feel really good to you and them. God, that's such a gift.
It is. Okay. Empaths are great listeners. How many of you have been told you're such an amazing listener? I mean, it's one of the things, it's like one of the things that just comes with being an empath. We really know how to listen. Okay. Empaths know when other people are lying, which is a great gift, actually, because it helps you protect yourself and be safe, right? How many of you know when someone's fibbing? They're not telling the truth. How many of you can just feel it and sense it? Please let us know. Hand raise. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
You know when people are lying?
Yes. And I always felt a little worried about that because you would always say,
don't say it.
Really?
No. Because then you'll give everybody a complex.
Oh, man. Now you're all wondering, aren't you?
Too bad.
That's what happens.
Keep wondering.
DM me. I'll give you the inside scoop.
Stop it. Okay. Empaths are good at picking up on nonverbal cues. And the thing about this is we totally can. We notice people's body language, the nonverbal cues, and we cannot figure out why other people cannot figure it out. Like other people don't see it, especially nonstop talkers, typically are really, really poorly equipped to pay attention to nonverbal cues. You know, when you're talking to someone and they get that kind of that interesting look and they keep looking down at their watch and we're like, oh shoot, they don't really want to talk right now. Okay, gotta go. And then we leave, right? But there's some people that just keep going. And so it's like we're really, really good at nonverbal cues. Okay. Empaths are also able to see the big picture, which is such a gift because everyone walking around seems to just be focused on this little tiny thing, but we're like, well, this has a deeper meaning and it's opening the door over here for this experience. And let's kind of change the way we're perceiving this. Instead of seeing the glass half empty, we're like, the glass is half full. Isn't that amazing? We're really good at finding the silver lining. It's just one of those gifts that we have. How many of you feel like you're pretty darn good at seeing the bigger picture of things? Let us know. I'd love to hear.
I'm really curious.
How
what this
about
one-
you? Do you feel like you can see the bigger picture?
Like a rock star.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa, yep.
Can you think of anything that recently you're just like, oh, the bigger picture?
Well, I would say it's when we all know I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see.
It might be
that might
the
be
thing.
another DM situation. Just kidding. The bigger picture. Honestly, if anything that's going on, if it feels like on the front end is going to be a real pain in the ass, or like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. My mind really quickly jumps to, well, I'm sure this is just taking us right where we want to be.
Absolutely.
So what is the opportunity in this that's coming along with the punch in the face?
Well, you know what? One of the things that I really could see the bigger picture on was the pandemic.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because I was observing in my own life the huge growth experience that was happening, more growth than I've ever had in my entire life in a short period of time. And I was also noticing all the positives coming out of it. Yes, there was a lot of like fear and sadness, and we lost a lot of people, but there's such a bigger picture to all of this. It was such a spiritually cathartic experience in so many ways, even through the trauma, which I had the biggest trauma of my life during the pandemic. So these are the kinds of things that I'm talking about, is just seeing that not everything is just what it looks like. There's always something much bigger at play.
Always.
Yeah.
And Amy Zebra, this might be another one on the list, but I love this. Amy said, I feel like I can not only see the big picture, but all aspects. I can put myself in someone else's shoes.
Yep, totally.
And that's the thing that I have loved about you since the minute I met you. You were so in tune with and aware of my, putting yourself in my situation when you were working through anything, or, making a decision about something that would affect both of us. You are so good at that. And I feel like I can do it, but I have to really pay attention.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Okay. Empaths are naturally creative and artistic. Okay. Don't say it. Don't say anything yet, because I don't want to forget this train of thought. How many of you have so many ideas you don't know where to put your time?
This is such an empath thing, isn't it?
Yes. Like, this is a big deal. With our students and with our personal clients, it's like, I have so many gifts. I have so many things that I'm good at. I just don't know how to pick just one. And you'll have ideas coming in constantly, and you're really talented with this. Yes. I know a lot of yeses are going to come in, because this is how it works. And I mean, take a look at what we know how to do, both of us. I've been a professional cake decorator, a photographer, an actress, a professional singer, songwriter. I am a mom. I have been a case manager for families with mental illness. I have been a coach for the last 14 years. I mean, I could go on and on and on, because we just have so much information, and we're very creative and talented. It's just part of the gift of being an empath.
And I can play the harp, and I can play the piano, and I can sew costume jewelry, and I can decorate a Christmas tree like nobody's business.
Yes.
And
I could go on.
I have an eye for design and for detail, and
Yeah.
I love to build business.
And you're great at cooking.
Love
as well.
to love my wife, and I love all sorts of things.
Yeah, one of your greatest
I wouldn't
talents
put me in the
is like,
cooking category.
yes, sir. You just don't
I can
like
make
to
a
cook.
mean breakfast or a sandwich.
He is a very good cook. He just doesn't like to cook. And thank God, because then I'd have to hit him with a frying pan in the kitchen and say, get out, because this is my area. So I'm glad he doesn't like it, but he's very good at it. So when I'm not up to cooking, he'll be like, can I make you a taco?
Yeah, I can make good tacos.
And I love tacos.
And they aren't really like real Mexican tacos. They're just kind of like regular Jack tacos.
Well, they're real Mexican tacos to me. Okay. Empaths have the ability to love unconditionally. How many of you would say that you know how to love no matter what? That no matter what anyone does, you can still love them. It doesn't mean you have to be with them or around them, but you can still love them, because you can see both sides of the fence, right? How many? While you're typing, I'm going to move to the next thing.
Yes. Yep. And it hurts.
Sometimes,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Empaths have great
Me, except
imaginations.
Belinda, you always make me laugh.
Yes, I unconditionally, and I know Belinda very well, and she's unconditionally loving, period. But it doesn't mean you like people. You can unconditionally love someone and not like them at all. I can attest to that. There are many people I really don't like because they're not nice. They hurt people and they're stupid. So I don't like them, but I unconditionally love them. Like if they were in the street hurt, I'd probably run over and wrap them up in a blanket and make them soup and make them feel better and then send them on their way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, empaths are the most powerful manifesting beings on earth. You may not know this. And here's the deal. Either you're manifesting what you want or what you don't want. So, it's really good to understand the law of attraction. Make sure that you keep your thoughts in a way of thinking about what you actually want instead of what you don't want. So just know that because you're such a deep feeler, and that's a really big part of setting an intention and manifesting and using the law of attraction, is having a powerful thought about what you want, setting your intention, feeling how it feels to have that thing, which we're really good at feeling. So that's why we're the most powerful manifestors on the planet. That itself
That's a
is worth.
superpower.
That is worth being an empath.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
right. Okay, I am trying not to laugh out loud over the comment thread.
Linda.
Stupid heads. Luann says, like wanting to bitch slap them.
You know, I will never pretend that I am not okay. I'm an empath and I'm a teacher and I'm leading the worldwide movement of Empath Rise and Thrive, Empath Rising. And I am not super woo-woo. I am in my heart, but I don't talk very woo-woo. And I don't sit there and try to be perfect and not call people names. I try not to do that because I think it's rude. But, I do think that some people are stupid and whatever. But so when you hear me talk, you'll be like, she swears and says rude things sometimes. And she's a healer. Oh,
the sweetest Street Fighter wife a man could ever want.
A Street Fighter wife.
Sweetest Street Fighter wife.
Why do you call me a Street Fighter?
Because of that saucy, sassy attitude.
Yeah, I used to be it. I used to get in lots of fights when I lived in Pocatello, Idaho.
That'd do it.
That was a scary time and I had to fight to survive. So I've got some really good fists. I don't use them anymore, but sometimes in my heart I do.
Sometimes in your heart you do. Mandy, that's so awesome. You have a friend and together when you manifest, you call yourself Manifesting Machines.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. There is power in the collective. Definitely.
Oh, amen.
Yeah, big time.
So if you're listening outside of the Connected Empath, and you're an empath, please come over to the Connected Empath because it's a powerful place with like-minded people that will really, really support you.
And she's talking about the Connected Empath Facebook group.
Thank you.
Mind you.
Thank you. Okay, here's a few more. What's our time? Because you know how I can
Perfect
keep
on
going.
time. Okay. We've been going about 30 minutes. Just a little under.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Empaths have the natural vibration of love, peace, and joy. That's why when you walk into a room, people will find you and tell you their story because you are a healing, peaceful, joyful, loving presence. It's just the vibration of being an empath. Now, that being said, you could have had some really terrible experiences in your life that can knock your vibration down into victim mentality. Hopefully, if that's the case, you'll be on the Connected Empath and be lifted because there's a lot of really positive, loving, joyful, feeling people on there that can help bring you up to your natural state. Okay. The next one is empaths are typically willing to do their inner work so they'll always come out ahead.
God, that's so true.
That is one thing I totally love.
I know. I mean, and that's when we finally realized after more than a decade of coaching that 99% of our clients are empaths.
Yeah.
And because I'm highly sensitive, Tiff is an empath, that's exactly who we attract. And this is our life's mission, is to help you, the empath, find your voice, align with your true self so that you can step up and step out in the true expression of who you really are.
Yep.
And take names.
Yep. Come out ahead and take names.
Right.
Instead I'm like, kick ass and take names.
Oh, Luann was born and raised in Pocatello.
Well, I was raised for a long time in Pocatello, and I sure wouldn't go back.
She said it would turn anyone into a street fighter.
Yeah,
she knows.
It's pretty intense there.
It's rough.
Woo! Okay, empaths have brilliant and powerful brains. And the reason we're sharing that is because your mirror neurons are more active than 80% in the world. That means 80% of the world. That means that you have a brain that works differently than most people around you, and you have a lot of brilliance coming in because you have such a deep ability to empathize with other people. Okay, empaths can see everyone's point of view, and that's what our friend was talking about a few minutes ago. Do you remember who it was?
Hold on.
I thought we had powerful brains.
Oh, good God. Was it Amy?
Yes, Amy, it was you. You were talking about being able to see other people's point of view. And this is one of those things. So how many of you feel like you could be a great mediator because you can see both sides without judgment? You can see both points of view, or more than two, several.
That is such a big deal. And it's also can really bite you as an empath, because then it's easy for you to put your feelings aside.
I know, but we're not talking about that today.
I know.
It's true.
We'll save that for another day. But that is what makes that being able to see both sides a little bit difficult.
Yes.
When you're trying to set a boundary for yourself.
It's true.
And the other person's going to be like,
maybe we'll talk about boundaries next week.
Yeah, that would be good. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Katie girl.
A mediator definitely, but can be sucked into victim too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Okay, empaths are natural healers. Just your very presence in a room is a healing energy. Okay. Empaths have a huge enthusiasm for life when they're not drained. I had to put the little when they're not drained, because when you're drained and you're not doing your self-care, you can feel like you have no zest for life. But when you're fully recharged, it's like life is exciting. Let's take the bull by the horns and get stuff taken care of, right? Empaths oftentimes feel comfortable being by themselves, so they don't always have to be around people. What do you think of that?
I find that fascinating. And I would love for you guys to chime in.
How many of you feel comfortable spending some time by yourself? Go ahead and share.
If you like it.
If you like it. It doesn't mean you have to be by yourself all the time, because I know oftentimes empaths can feel lonely, but sometimes they'll choose to be alone even if they're lonely, just to clear their energy. I definitely have lots of alone time. Right?
Yeah, true. People I love. Me.
See, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, empaths are deeply connected to animals and nature. And as I have gotten older, I have to say, I shut off being connected to animals and nature growing up for lots of different reasons. We just lost our dog this last month, and it has taken a serious toll on me. Like, I had no idea what a loss this was going to be for me. I still wake up at 3:30 in the morning and have to have a little breakdown and bawl for a couple hours sometimes. And it really surprised me because she was sick. We've had her for many, many years, and she was my companion. Jack's convinced she's my familiar. So she's just my pet. And it really, really hit me hard. And I didn't realize that she was this grounding, healing presence in my life of certainty and unconditional love that was my companion all the time, especially through my recovery of my brain injury. So, man, I have just been reeling over the loss of this pet and realizing how deep our connection to animals, and I'm allergic to all animals except for rodents and birds. So I had to take an allergy pill and had asthma issues with her all the years that we had her. But I wouldn't change it because she was such a gift in my world and such a deep connection.
Yeah, you're not alone. Cats. I miss my cats. Me too. Last August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel deeply.
Animals are just unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And that's a rare experience.
It really is. And there's so many people that don't really connect to their pets. But we as empaths typically do, really dealing with our pets or having pets and going out into nature. I also lost 3 80-foot pine trees last year in a big windstorm, and I had a hell of a time getting over that as well. But I kept the roots, and I have them in my office, and they're these beautiful, gnarly looking roots against my wall. But man, that about threw me over the edge. And you too. You are such a tree guy.
Devastating.
You are a tree
I'm the kind
guy.
of person that would chain myself to a tree so someone
That's
wouldn't
true.
cut it down.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to another superpower. Empaths can see the divinity in others in spite of their poor behavior. How many of you can see the divinity in others in spite of poor behavior?
Hannah.
Are we going to see you this weekend?
Yeah, for the funeral.
Oh, right.
Hi.
Oh, that'll be so
that'll
great.
Be nice. Oh, someone said that's amazing. I cried over my plants dying. Yeah, you're an empath.
Yep.
That's a deep feeler thing right there.
Yes. Okay, the next one. Empaths can contribute to others' life like no one else because of all of these gifts. So you are a contributor to the whole, and you can feel the need for your healing energy, and it's really a beautiful thing. So those are all the gifts, not all of them, but this is a big chunk of the gifts that we have as an empath. Now that you've heard about these, you can start really thinking about what a gift you are instead of what a curse. This, I cannot even tell you how often I hear this, that it's like, oh, being an empath is the worst thing that's ever happened. And it's like, if you really focus on the gift that you are with the beautiful things that you have, these aren't just here, these things that I just shared right here on this paper are not just here for you to give to others. They're to bring joy into your life. So I really want you to spend time thinking about the gift that you are and the joy that it brings you in your life. I love thinking about these things and like having a great imagination, and that I'm really good at manifesting, and I'm willing to do my inner work, which always gives me such a better life to experience. So I hope you wrote these things down. And if you didn't, go back and listen to it again and write them down and really ponder on the ways that you engage with the things that I just shared, because all of these things will bring joy into your life. The biggest struggle empaths have on the planet, and it doesn't matter where you live, is self-care, because we're so busy helping other people that we forget about ourselves, and life is not joyful when we're not taking care of ourselves. We feel drained, we feel sick, we have lots of issues because we're not taking care of ourselves. If you will step up in your self-care and think about the gifts that you are, life is going to get so much better.
So much better. So see, you really are a superhero.
Yeah, you are a
really
superhero.
It's really profound. And if there's anything you would like to do for us, something we would appreciate mightily, is if you'd be willing to share one of our videos with somebody that you know is an empath and could really use it. Or if you haven't joined Connected Empath Facebook group, come into the group with us where we can rub shoulders every day. Another thing you could do is share a post, something that is meaningful that Tiff or someone shares with one of your friends, and let them know that they're not alone. That if they're an empath, we're just trying to gather all of you, our empathic friends, together in one place so we can serve you at the highest level and really assist you, so it's easier for you to love and accept yourself, because that's where it all starts.
Yep.
Is you loving and accepting yourself. And we're very grateful for your presence here with us today. We always say we couldn't be us without you. We couldn't do what we do without you. So thank you for closing this circle with us. It feels really, really good. You're very special. You are a healer. You were born really unique and powerful in your sensitivity. There is not one thing about your sensitivity that is wrong. Not one thing. So I want you to just breathe that possibility in through your body, that the way you are is right. It's not wrong. And you're not on the outside. You're not an oddball. You belong everywhere you go. So the last thing before we go, Tiff and I always say this: eat dessert first.
Because life is meant to be devoured.
It really is. We're Tiff and Jack. We will be back again here next week, same time, same place. We give you the biggest hug of your life right now.
Kutch.